Happy New Year! That's all the enthusiasm I could find. Just kidding, kind of. Okay, I wanted to show you the card I pulled this morning because I pull cards on my own before I jump on here and do cards for this channel, this collective. And I pulled birth. The birth of a new year. I thought that was very good timing. Apologies in advance if you start hearing dogs barking. I am in the middle of a dispute that is new within the last couple of weeks from a new set of neighbors I have below me, and they have, we'll just say, it's been loud. It's been a loud last couple of weeks. And I'm hoping, I'm kind of doing this video a bit earlier so that hopefully the barking doesn't start until after I do this video. I'm a bit chilly right now. Okay, well, I think what I'm gonna do is just pull a set of cards that are specifically intended for this new year, the new energy that we're entering into. Even though I'm not much of a like new year, new me, new year's resolutions person, I actually find January to be more of a quieter internal month. And I think that it's a good time to like reset the energy, you know, kind of clear out space from the previous year. But I don't necessarily find myself like motivated in terms of like jumping into new routines. I have pretty set routines that serve me well, and I don't ever find that I need to make something like as a declaration to myself for that particular year. That might change, who knows? But I do just sort of want to say like I'm still honoring the new year. I'm still honoring all the things that went on in 2025 personally and in the world. So let's pull cards to address the new energy that's coming in this year, 2026. 2026. That feels like a made up number. Like it's just so crazy how quickly we got to 2026. I still feel like it's 2020 sometimes. Like we've been in such a weird portal since everything went down in 2020. But it is shifting. Like it is we did just have to go through this really intense, destructive rebirthing process of the new energy, of the new way that this next part of our experience is going to be like. Like death is not always quiet. You know, a lot has been stirred up because it has to be stirred up to be with it, see it, work with it. You know, even the situation I'm having downstairs, I am at the point now where I feel like I've learned that when things come in and disrupt you, it's for a reason. It's not pleasant and it doesn't feel good. And it's really, really hard and it can push you to your limits. But it also is symbolic a lot of times of transformation coming or in the process of transforming. So with the situation that's going on for me right now, that I've sensed was starting since actually last year when our management changed, all of a sudden I have really, really strong intuition and psychic abilities. I can pick up things like so quickly. I'm very early to knowing things before they happen. And so I've already been tracking the fact that, all right, the universe is starting to get me uncomfortable more and more, starting to kind of push on that feeling of like, oh, well, I'd rather just stay here and stay comfortable. And I'm familiar with everything here and I know how everything here works. In order, a lot of times, for change to happen, the universe gets you really uncomfortable. And for somebody like me, I'm used to enduring a lot because I have lived my whole life having to mask all of my sensitivities and things that, I'm having really strong reactions to inside, and having to endure those has taught me like my threshold for enduring things is very high, like too high, to the point where I don't speak up for myself. I just deal with it. I let it happen. And that's one thing that's started to change for me since being diagnosed, is realizing my experience matters and that I have to advocate for my own experience. Like with what's happening with my neighbors downstairs, I've had a set of neighbors genuinely just like this experience. And that was back in 2020. And it was just enough to where I transformed out of that situation. But that was sort of the last thing that happened to get me out of that experience. But in that experience, I didn't speak up. I didn't explain it to management how it was affecting me. I let it happen. And because sometimes I think, that little scared part of us finds it to be safer to not speak up, because in the past, maybe if you have spoken up, something bad has happened. And so maybe what I'm feeling really strongly starting to happen is people getting to this point of really having to speak, really having to say this. Like inside, you might be really terrified, and I always am, but to announce to the universe, like, I'm not going to allow this to continue for me. And whether that means, like, for example, I've shared this, what's happening with my manager, and they're now aware of it. My nervous system can take back all the like stress of trying to have to figure it out. They're aware of it. They're taking care of it. But if the universe wants me to move on, it's still going to happen and still going to be a process of pushing me to those edges of myself, to where it's like, I can't endure this anymore. This is no longer the place that feels good and safe in my nervous system. But before I do that, before I just go, oh, well, uncomfortable situation happening in my living space, I better just leave now, the like running away from it, I deal with it and I say, no, I don't agree with this happening in my space. I'm going to speak up in a very kind way. It's not like I'm being rude. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just simply saying, this is not working. This is not, this is just, all of those things. So a lot of that is taking your power back. It's all of those things that you try to, oh, we'll just see how much longer it goes on for, and it's okay, and make all these sort of like excuses for the reason why you're not speaking. And so, that's a lot of the energy that I'm experiencing anyway right now. And it's funny because I had said 2 weeks ago was my dog's 6-month death anniversary. And I thought right on that date, it was the 18th of December. And I just had this moment of going, for the next 2 weeks, while it's the holidays and while everything's sort of like, the weird end of the year energy is happening, I'm going to just stop kind of trying to push myself forward and find the new path and, figure out like what's next and what am I doing and putting this pressure on myself. I'm going to stop doing that. And I'm going to just trust that if I stop doing that for 2 weeks, it's okay. I'm still going to be taken care of. And I'll pick up the thread again in January. 2 days later, this event began with my downstairs neighbors, where I was, and they've been here for 2 months, so this is new. It was kind of like the universe being like, it was just this shift of energy where I made the choice, but I felt the choice being made. Like I didn't necessarily make the choice. I just felt the shift of the energy that was asking me to stop and surrender to the next 2 weeks. And then up comes this situation that I have to find a way to be with, work with, and see what's being asked of me from it. And that's what happens when you kind of keep trusting that inner compass. And even in the situation and the distress that it's causing, I can still now, from looking back on my life, find the thread of when this type of energy comes up into the experience that you're having, it's the trust of the experience. It's not to fight against the experience. It's to see, okay, this experience is happening. I won't pretend like it's not. I won't look away from it. And if I do look away from it, I'm going to have to keep getting rerouted back to it. That's what happens, you know, when you're in a relationship and you know it's ending, but you keep hanging on, and things get kind of more and more and more intense until you finally have to leave. That's the feeling of when you are being asked to transform, the longer you sort of push it to the side and avoid it, the more intense things tend to get. So yeah, with saying all that, I'm in a definite portal of transformation right now. I don't know what's going to be happening. This was very much a year of, facing a lot of power struggles, death, grief, loss, transformation, really, really intense stuff happened in 2025. 2025 was a 9-year, nine years are ending years. It was a heavy water dominant year in astrology. 2026 is a heavy fire and air energy year. And all the planets that were at their final degrees of in 2025 are now shifting into the beginning degrees of Aries in 2026. So it's really about rebirth, something new coming. And it's, of course, we're always going to have new stuff coming. But the overarching pattern is 2025 was a letting go, releasing, clearing the old, and then hopefully bringing into 2026 this fresh energy, you know, finding the thread of where you feel the most alive and moving towards that. I pulled a card and I haven't even shared it with you. Oh, wow. Abundance. Nice. That's the abundance is the card of 2026. So that's really, really cool to see that pop up right now. And Nature's Whispers card. So glad so far that I've been doing this video and I haven't been barking. And you guys know I love dogs. I feel bad for them. I'm not upset at the dogs. It's the energy of the container that they're in, which is really stressful for me because I'm so in touch with dogs and I'm so in touch with energy, and I understand how much stress and like intensity is happening down there. And so I can't rest. I can't be at ease, like in my own safe, sacred space. And that is very important for, especially an autistic person, to be able to have one place in the world where you can go and everything gets quiet, everything feels safe again. And then to not have that place be a place where you feel safe and you can recharge. It's like it extends out into everything. I can start having more meltdowns. I can start losing things, forgetting things. Like it makes my brain be constantly on edge. And so that's why it's even more of a huge disruption for me. And it's not like they're barking here and there. It's like starts in the morning and it goes until like at least 3 or 4 o'clock. And it's maybe every 5 minutes because they're guarding the window when people are passing by. Not to get into all of that. But I had to really kind of go through this whole process of, okay, I have to be the person to say something. I had to really talk myself through it. And I finally got there, you know, my inner parent to help my inner child feel like we're not doing anything wrong. I'm going to make this feel okay. We'll figure it out either way. And that's what we're doing now. We being me and my dog. She gets really, really stressed out too. She's a border collie and her nervous system is, I feel like she's autistic. Like if dogs can be autistic, I feel like she is. She's really, really sensitive and everything scares her. And she hears noises that I don't hear. And I trust that she's hearing them. I don't know what she's hearing, but something scares her. And this situation now really has both of us just so stirred up. And I am pulling a card. I did once have an astrologer tell me that my chart gets flooded when I'm about to make a big change. And I'm currently in the flooded part of my chart. So I'm just wondering if, oh wow, really, really interesting card pull. If anyone else is experiencing the level of intensity that I am, please feel free to share. I feel like I know that because I'm on the spectrum, I have my inner world gets set off in so many different ways than a lot of people. So I always feel like my experience is more intense than what most people are experiencing, but maybe not, you know, if that's what's going on for you too, and you're having some really intense shifts happening, would love to hear what's happening for you too. And just know, like, we are getting through it. We are getting stronger and we are shifting into something that's more true, like more honest, more real, more authentic. And that has to come from all the things that are sort of getting in the way and dampering that inner fire and that inner power and that thing inside of you that wants to come up and out of you, but you keep finding other ways to keep it down. This card for our next 2026 vibe, heighten your vitality. Card number 49. Okay, reading. Let me try and center a little. Okay, there we go. Tap into the depths of your being and draw on your personal power. Yes, that's what I just said. If you feel like your energy is low, infuse your mind with the warmth of sunlight and visualize this light bringing new energy into you. You have energetic reserves to draw on. Allow this energy boost to flow through you. Connect with others or do something you love to continue creating the change you need. Spend time with a friend, smile, laugh, and share human touch. Well, that's just a very nice feeling of, kind of goes perfectly with abundance, right? It feels like it's all about that inner power coming through, trusting the abundance is coming, trusting the abundance is already here, honestly, even with all this destruction and all this pain and struggle and everything, that the abundance is still here. I try to always remember that and feel like it's all like, it's all happening in the way that divine source is planned it, you know, like to take yourself sort of back out of the like me having to figure it all out and trust, like step back and see this bigger unfolding happening around you knowing that if you just keep taking the next step, even if you're terrified to say something or if you're terrified to leave something, that you put all of the trust in, if I just face this and I keep going forward, I am supported. I'm always supported, no matter how scary and difficult things get and they seem like it's never going to get better. Something I always tell myself is this is not permanent. Whatever situation I'm going through that's really, really scary or hard, or emotion that I'm feeling that's really, really intense and I'm kind of trying to block, but once I let it happen, just know that this is just one of the waves of life. This is just one of the emotional waves. This is just one of the higher intense moments of life. But none of it is ever permanent. You're never stuck right in that situation forever, which when you're in that situation, a lot of times can feel like you're going to be in that forever. And that's where the dread and the feeling of just like getting crashed down into depression and feeling powerless comes from. Not feeling like it's ever going to get better, but it will get better. It will change into something else. You just have to keep going through it and keep trusting and knowing that you're taken care of. It's not anything about your doing. It's about allowing and trusting that unfolding to happen. Okay, well, I'm going to leave you guys there. My dog started drinking water. I'm sorry if you can hear that. We have to hydrate ourselves though. Okay. Happy 2026. Thank you so much for being here. I have almost 100 subscribers, which I can't even believe because, I mean, I know I've started in July and it's been 6 months and I have 100, less than 100 in 6 months, but I feel like that's a huge number. I mean, I haven't even told one single person in my real life that I'm doing this channel. I said, I'm going to do this channel and I'm going to just let the algorithm find my people. And so in doing that, having almost 100 people have found my channel and subscribed feels amazing. So thank you so much for being here. I hope the start of your year is not stressful, but if it is, just know that it's always going to transform into something else, and keep following that and keep following that trust and that guidance within you that's always kind of coming to the front to want to speak to you, and just listen. Just get quiet and listen. Okay. Thank you again. Love you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.